Hello, my name is Javier Gallagher, and today I'm going to be doing a presentation on the detection, mitigation, public network exposures here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Our preliminary investigation started with the public exposures here in the territory, along with firewall integrity and availability across multiple devices, and to see if internet service providers have adopted Internet Protocols version 6. As for our research question, we wanted to see if we can use different Internet Protocol versions on the same network to improve to improve the local network security. Some background research was conducted to gain an understanding of how networking and security works, along with the use and interpretation of GRC Shields Up, as well as understanding Nmap's features and its application. And we also conducted trials on both business and residential networks. Further background research was also conducted to determine if ISPs can support IPv6 here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, along with validate IPv6 wireless access point compatibility. We also wanted to verify if we can have IPv6 only and IPv4 only configurations on our test devices. As for our methods for network exposures, we wanted to take a look at GRC Shields Up to be used for the test of firewall integrity, while Nmap is used to discover the amount of exposed hosts on a public network. And that is from a pool of roughly 900,000 addresses. As for our hypothesis, we started by resetting the modem provided by the ISP, along with resetting our consumer wireless access points, and connect the various test devices and verifying that they are connected. We also attempted the network interactions on the local network for both the same and different host types. We repeated this test 3 separate times. As for the GRC firewall assessments, some of what we have received for a firewall protected network would be all green and would not allow hackers to see the network traffic that is going through it. While on the other hand, total exposure means that a hacker can see exactly what information is going through. As for our network exposure results, we found that roughly out of a pool of 8,500,000 total hosts, 70,000 of those hosts were exposed, meaning that 8.28% of the total hosts were vulnerable to attacks. As for business, 6 out of a total pool of 16,000, a total of 4,000 were exposed out of that total. And that means that roughly 25% of the total hosts were exposed to the internet. That means that it is 3 times more exposed than that of the residential network. We also discovered that the ISP service routers use default passwords that are published on the internet. This means that hackers can gain access and disable firewall and other security settings on your network. As for our hypothesis results, we found that IPv4 hosts can only communicate with other like devices, while IPv6 is also the same. That means that they cannot communicate with each other. IPv4 cannot communicate with IPv6, and that IPv6 is not supported by the ISP here in the territory. On the left, you can see that an IPv4 computer is attempting to communicate with another IPv4 device and is able to do so, while the IPv6 computer has failed to come in contact with the IPv4 device. As for our conclusions, there are tens of thousands of exposed hosts here in the Virgin Islands and in Puerto Rico, which is significant. Service router defaults could compromise those networks, and that our hypothesis has proven true with the different protocol method. And we also found that IPv6 is no longer supported here in the territory. As for next steps to further this research, we need to take a look into the nature of the network exposure here in the territory, along with test our hypothesis on other ISP spots, along with investigating the transition protocols that allow IPv6 to work on IPv4 networks. And as of special acknowledgements, I would like to give an acknowledgement to my grant award, along with my mentor, Professor Timothy Kentopt, and these are my references that I used for this research. Thank you. And is there any questions?